Hey, if you are new to home recording and looking for some good software to use, I highly recommend Studio One. I use it in my home studio, and I also teach music production at a college, and I use it for all the students there. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get up and running with Studio One in 6 simple steps. Let's jump in. Okay, so step number one is to launch Studio One, to open it up and to open up a brand new project. This is what it's going to look like. I'm assuming that you've already downloaded Studio One, by the way. There's currently 3 different versions. There's their artist version, which is kind of a basic version for them, the Studio One Professional, and then also Studio One Plus, which is basically a monthly subscription, and it gives you everything you possibly need, and that's the version I currently have. So you go ahead and you click the plus button. It's going to open up a brand new template for you. You have pre-made templates if you want. You can choose something they've already created for you. I usually use a blank one. You can label that whatever you want. I leave it at 48.0 kilohertz and then click OK. Now that you have everything open, I just want to make sure that you go in and make sure everything you need to have downloaded is downloaded. So all of your samples and instrument sounds. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Studio One installation and just make sure you have all of your installation currently downloaded here, okay? Because otherwise you're not going to be able to do much if you don't have any instruments or effects or loops downloaded. Okay, so step number 2 is going to be add an audio track, okay? So you can either hit T on your keyboard or hit this plus button up here. You're going to select an audio track, and then for this, you're going to want to make sure that your input for your audio interface is connected to your microphone. So your microphone is in the right input, and in my case it's audio 1 or input 1. You click OK, and then up top is where your audio track is, okay? Now just to set this up, if you haven't set up your audio interface yet or your audio, you click Preferences, Audio Setup. By the way, I'm on a Mac, but if you're on a PC, it would be under Options. And then here, Playback and Recording Device, I just have set to my Claret 8 Pre USB. If you have a different audio interface, you would select it there. And then here, you're just going to click this little circle, and that record enables that track. You can tell because the little green line is going up and down. And then you can record on this track. Let's give it a shot. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. So I know it's green because when it's green, it's recording. And let's listen back to what we just did. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. Wow, that was beautiful. So that's basically how to record an audio track. All right, step number 3 is going to be how to create an instrument track, okay, or a MIDI track. So you're going to do this the same way you did audio, but when you click that plus button, instead of doing audio, you do instrument track. And you can click OK, label it whatever you want. Okay, so now here's my instrument track. Now it's important to note that nothing is actually on here. So what you have to do is you have to go over to your instrument tab right over here and select an instrument from Studio One, what you want to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and just pull in a basic piano, and so you just drag that sound right in, and it will load up. In this case, it's the Presence instrument, and let's see if it's working. So I have a little MIDI controller here. Yep, so it's working. And to set that up, if you haven't already, you go to the same place you did for the audio, go to Preferences, and you click External Devices here, okay? So I have an MPK Mini, and in this case, if you haven't done it before, you'd select that, click Edit, and just make sure you have Receive From and Send To selected as your MPK Mini. That's going to be sending your MIDI information to Studio One. So you click OK, and then click OK. Also, what's kind of cool, if you don't have a MIDI controller, you can also use the QWERTY keyboard by hitting the caps lock button. And what this does is it brings up this, which enables you to use your keyboard as a MIDI controller, okay? Which is kind of, it's really cool if you don't have a MIDI keyboard. So to record it, you're going to do the same thing. We're just going to make sure it's record enabled. and we're going to hit record. All right, beautiful song right there. So we've recorded that. Let's listen back to make sure. Wow, truly amazing. All right, so that is recording an audio track and then an instrument track. Hey, my name is Eric Miller, and I help home studio owners write and record amazing music. And if you're finding value in this video, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. All right, step number 3 is going to be creating a loop track, and this is really, really cool if you want to get up and running really quickly and just drag in some loops and just hear what that sounds like. So they break it down by all these different genres: blues, classical, country, dubstep, EDM. So many different sounds. And what you can do is just drag a loop once you've found something that you like. All right, so I've gotten that little drum beat, and you just drag it right into the tracks window. And I'll make it a little bit bigger here so you can see it. So now if I play it back, you'll hear that. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. All right, so this is a loop, and it's really powerful, especially if you're not a drummer or you don't play a certain instrument. You can just easily drag in a loop and create music that way. Okay, step number 5 is going to be mixing. So to mix, you're going to click down here in the bottom right corner. There's a little mix tab, and now you can see here all of your tracks that you have recorded so far. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Here are all of your faders, so you can pull up or down the volume level for any of these tracks. By the way, it also does it here. It's the same thing. And you can also add effects. So to add effects, all you do is on the track that you want, on this vocal track, we'll just click the plus button, and we'll type in an effect. So let's say we want to do reverb. We'll just type in room reverb, and let's just listen back now. We'll solo that track. Hey, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. So now we have reverb on that track we just created. So really powerful. That's how you add effects onto your different tracks. And again, if you just want to adjust the volume, you can just pull up or down the volume there. Okay, step number 6 is to export your masterpiece that you have just recorded. So what I like to do to first do this is to create a loop up here of the range in which I want to export. So I'm just going to highlight everything that I have by clicking and dragging up on the top left here and just dragging the entire duration of the song. That tells Studio One how much music I want to export. And then you go up to the top and you click Song, Export Mixdown, and you're going to label your song, whatever you want to title it, and then select where you want to save it, important so that you know where it's going to go. And then I see this duration, export range. I have between loop, that's the loop I just created, and this song is 8.889 seconds. So not a very long song. And then we go to what format we want. So a waveform would be the full resolution of the song. If you wanted an MP3, you could check that down here. That would be something if you wanted to email a smaller, more compressed file. Over here in the loudness, you can adjust the loudness to a streaming platform, Spotify, YouTube. So it's pretty cool that Studio One allows you to do that. Then you click OK, and it will export your entire song that you've just mixed. Hey, if you want to go deeper, I have a free 5-step guide to recording and producing music from your home studio. You can get that by clicking the link in the description below, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.